What's going on, guys? Video game expert here, and today we're going to be fixing a stuck disc tray on the original Xbox. These are the tools you're going to need: a Torx 15-bit, a Torx 9-bit, a Phillips head screwdriver bit, a scalpel or razor blade, and a flathead screwdriver to do a little bit of prying. Alright, in order to get the top shell off, first things first, we're going to have to remove the power supply. It's the most important thing when dealing with electronics is to make sure you're not dealing with any power hooked up to the console. So we'll take these feet off first. Normally the Xbox will come with a padded foot in each corner, but our beautiful Xbox only has 2 feet today. So we'll take that flathead screwdriver and pry underneath just like so. As soon as it comes up, you can just pull it right back. And now all 4 corners have their feet off, and we should be able to just use our Torx 15-bit and unscrew these Torx bits. There's going to be 4 total, and then there's going to be 2 that are hidden behind these stickers. So let's go ahead and take out the 4 cornered Torx 15s. And all of the Torx 15 coming out of the bottom of the console will be the same size. So now we're going to grab that scalpel or razor blade that we had, and just to make it nice and clean, I'm going to cut a little half circle here in the sticker. I'll zoom in for you so you can see a little better. Right here, I'll just cut it about halfway so I can peel that sticker back and get to the Torx 15 and still keep it looking good. Carefully pull that sticker up there and get that bad boy out. And now that we have the first one hidden by the sticker, we're going to go move on to the next one. It's going to be right behind this little danger electricity sign right here. So once again, we'll just make a half circle, pry that sticker back, and pop out that Torx 15. Alright, now that we have all 6 of these Torx 15s out, we can flip this guy over and take off the top shell. You want to grab right underneath and just pull straight up, and the top should come off pretty easily. Wait, what is this? Disgusting. If you have cockroaches in your house and you have a video game console, I guarantee you that is the cockroach's home. So I'm going to take this outside, and I'm going to use this air gun that I have and try and get all the dust and dead cockroaches out. Alright, let's pop off that Torx 15 and put in the Torx 9, because the next 3 screws we have are going to be Torx 9s. We got 2 down here, and we got this one hidden behind the ribbon cable. So let's go ahead and take those out real quick. Get you a closer look of where the next 2 are. Just right in front near the front of the disk drive. Alright, now we're going to grab the last remaining Torx 9 out of the disk drive tray. With that gone, let's flip this around and remove the ribbon cable and power supply from the disk drive. I like to just kind of grab the disk drive, wiggle it back and forth, and it should pop right out. When it comes to this power supply cord, I try and grab all of the ribbons together and then just give it a gentle wiggle back and forth while pulling out, and it should come right out. Alright, now we have the disk drive completely unattached from the cables. In order to get that out, we're going to have to get this hard drive out of the way. In order to do that, you're going to kind of need to pull these wires out, and you need to pull them all the way out, or else you still won't be able to pull them up, as you can see me trying. You have to pull them all the way out of the shell that they're in, like so. Once you do that, you should be able to pull that up and get it out of the way. The disk drive itself should be rather easy to take out. You kind of really just have to pull it straight up. If it gives you a little trouble, try wiggling it back and forth and just finagle it until it comes straight up. Alright, now that we have that disk drive out, we're going to set the rest of the Xbox stuff to the side. We're going to look at our disk drive, and we're going to take the disk drive out of the plastic caddy by just kind of pulling on one side of the caddy and the disk drive up. It should easily come out. Then we can take that metal piece off the front of the disk drive. It should fall right off. If not, just give it a gentle pull. And we'll put that with the caddy as well. Next, we're going to take a look at the disk drive and find where the screws are. We have one set of T9 screws and one set of Phillips screws on this particular disk drive. Here are the T9s, so we'll just grab our screwdriver and take those right out. Now that we have those Torx 9s out, now we just have to find the two Phillips, and here they are. Let me get you a closer look so you can see exactly what I'm looking at. One right here, and one over here. So let's take the Torx 9 bit out of the screwdriver and pop in the Phillips bit, and then we'll get those out as well. Now all of the screws are out and we should be able to easily pop off this metal shell. Alright, now that those are out, there's this little plastic tab that you kind of need to push in order to get the metal case off. So we'll just push in right here and pull up and it should pop off rather easily. Set that to the side. Then we'll flip this over and we'll pull the back metal plate off. In order to do that, we kind of just bend this metal up just a little bit, enough to give it a little give, and then pull it right up and it pops right off as well. Alright, now we have the entire metal casing off and we're just about to be able to fix more cockroaches. Disgusting. Anyways, I'm going to take my air gun and take this outside and give it a dusting on the front as well as on the back. Try and get off all those dead cockroaches as well as any dust that may have gathered. You still can't pull this out. There's still one more trick we have to do. This little white plastic piece, you're going to have to push it all the way to the left, just like this. You'll see the disc tray come out, and then you'll know it's released, and you'll have free reign to move it back and forth. Now that that is free, right here where this little rubber band is what is causing your disc tray to not open. The rubber band is just worn over time. It's a little loose, so we're just going to have to replace that. To be able to get to that rubber band, we're going to have to take the disc tray all the way out, and to do so you kind of have to just push in on these two areas while you push the disc tray all the way out, and it'll come out freely. Now we can look and see that the rubber band portion is right there. We're just going to take off the old and install the new. The link for the rubber bands will be down in the description. So we'll take that out with some tweezers and replace it with our new rubber band. Now this rubber band is much smaller than the one, so I wasn't sure if it was going to work. There are two types of disc drives for the original Xbox, one that has a very small rubber band and one that has a larger rubber band. So now that we have that placed in there, you're going to have to take this white portion, move it back and forth just to make sure the gears are working, and then move it all the way to the left to make sure that disc tray stays down. Then we'll slide back in the actual tray, push it all the way to the back, and from here we're going to reassemble the disc drive. And to reassemble the disc drive, we're basically going to be working in reverse order. Just going to line up these parts right here, hang it over the side, and then flip it down. It should kind of click right into place. And you'll flip it over, and we'll install that smaller metal piece on top. This metal piece does just kind of fit in and set down on there. It shouldn't be hard, you shouldn't have to force it. It should just kind of fall right into place, as you'll see. And from here, the first thing we're going to want to do is reinstall those two Phillips screws. Like so. Then we're going to flip the disc drive to its back. We're going to pop out that and put back in the Torx 9 screw bit and get those Torx 9 screws back in on this back side. Alright, now that all the screws are inserted back into the disc drive, we're going to put the disc drive back into its holder. Let's put that metal front plate back on, and it really only goes on one way. It's pretty easy to get. From here, we'll place this back into the plastic housing, and it should just kind of fall in. You'll clip it into the two sides and it should be ready to go. So let's grab our Xbox and let's just give it one good last dusting inside to get all that dust out. Once that's done, we're going to try and drop that disk drive back into the spot. So let's kind of move everything out of the way and get as much space as possible. We'll hold those wires back, and this really should just, for the most part, drop right in. You might have to wiggle it back and forth, but just make sure that that disk tray is lined up on the front of the Xbox and you'll know that you're doing the right thing. Alright, that disk drive should fit right in there nice and snug, and once it's in its spot we can reapply the ribbon cable. Just make sure you line it up in the back and push it directly in. It should go in without any problems whatsoever. Same goes with the power cable right here. We'll just line it up and push it right in. And now we've reattached the disk drive. We're going to need to take this hard drive and get it set in its spot as well. And in order to do so, we need to make sure that we have these cables fed right back through the plastic casing. And once we do, we can just kind of feed it. They have little teeth that they sit on, as you'll see. And we'll feed those wires right through it. Put it under the tooth right there, as well as there, and that cable should be out of our way now. Everything should be sitting flush, and we should be ready to put on that top shell. Before we put on that top shell and close up, we need to make sure we put those 3 Torque 9 screws back in their spots. One's going to be right under the ribbon cable, and then the other 2 will be to the front of the disk drive. Once we have those 3 Torque 9s put in, let's put the ribbon cable back under the tooth to get it held in place. Then we can reattach the top casing. Now just make sure you have these metal teeth up front and kind of hold each side and pull them out away from each other a little bit as you drop it down. It should just drop straight down, and then you kind of just squeeze it together and it'll pop right into place. Now I'm pretty confident in my abilities, so I think that the disc tray will work on it my first try. If you didn't want to reopen the casing and unscrew all the screws, I would probably check to make sure the disc drive opens before you continue to close everything back up. But I'm going to reinsert the 6 Torque 15 screws. They're the very long screws. There's going to be 2 that were hidden under these stickers, and then the 4 in each corner. Alright, so we're just going to throw in these last 6 T15 screws, throw on the feet, and see if our repair was successful. In the meantime, you can hit that like button, go down, comment what you'd like to see next, and subscribe to my channel as it helps the channel grow. I'm going to be doing custom consoles, refurbishes, repairs, as well as cleanings, all the way from Nintendo to the latest PlayStation, Xboxes, and Nintendo Switches. So if you have any ideas of what you'd like to see next, please leave a comment below. I will also leave a list of everything used in the description. Alright, it is time to see if we were successful. And pops right open. Perfect. Let's close that and give it another try just to make sure it's not a fluke. And a boom shakalaka. Alright guys. Thanks for watching the video. Make sure, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff.